Crafted here, and yes, it is time for the 10 subscribers special. Yay! So what I'm gonna do for this episode is my top 10 video games. Hope you all enjoy. So, my top 10 game. So this one might not have been that hard to think of. I mean, it might have been. This game is kind of fading, but on the top 10 list, I chose Five Nights at Freddy's. No, not that game. That game. I mostly like number 1 just because of the door mechanics. I mean, number 2 was okay, but I just didn't like the feel of it. Number 1, it just shows the feeling of being isolated and stuff and just being in a small room, which is one thing that number 1 did. And it just makes you feel like creeped out. You're in such a small space that you just freak out. And it was also just one of my favorites because it seemed more challenging. Like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a big challenge, but that one was just hard. You only had a limited amount of powers, and there's just so much you could see. And I just like it more some reason because it seems more like you're isolated, more like you're just alone. You get more of a creepy feel in number 1. Like there's almost no sound at all, almost no sound effects at all when they're at your door. So it's really hard. Like it just gives you the feeling of being creeped out and being isolated in this one building where no one is. Well, there might be someone, but that's a theory for another day. But that's kind of just why I like number 1 better than number 2. So, on to my top 9, my top 9th game. So this one you guys might have not expected at all, and you might not even know this game, but Puzzle Quest. I played this game as a kid. I'm sorry. I played this game as a kid. Luckily I got it right. I don't want to jinx it. But as a kid, I really liked this game. It just made you think really well. I also really like medieval games, and that one was really medieval. It had knights, mages, and all those stuff. Except the only hard thing is, I sucked at it. So it was a bit difficult for me, but who cares? I like it anyway. But this game was just amazing. I mean, it just made you think really hard. Like, all the stuff you learn, and you just gotta focus so much. And for those of you who cannot focus, then you're pretty much doomed. Bye bye, people. Okay, and on to number 8. This one you probably expected after what I have said on the last episode of Skyblock, but The Legend of Zelda, the first game. This one was just, for an older game, was just amazing. It was really fun having the screen like that. Instead of having just the 2D, you actually saw, it just was different. Now, I probably wouldn't have liked it if it was when it just came out. Just because right now it just seems kind of cool to play games that were just a long time ago and see how they made it. This game, even though being really short and being partly easy, I just really liked. And, well, that's really all I have to say about it. You're probably going to hear me talk about Zelda a lot. I might even do some playthroughs of it. So on to number 7. I'm sorry, I just cannot speak today. But number 7 is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This one I found interesting, using all the Nintendo characters to battle each other. And it was just fun. And one of the reasons I really liked it is because the Link character was actually from my top Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which, spoiler alert, you are going to see in this video. But Super Smash Bros. Brawl just brought all the Nintendo characters, and it was just really fun to play as them. Using Kirby to suck up all their abilities, fun. Doing this, really fun. And it was just really fun how you could play through a different story. Besides normal stories of most Nintendo games like Mario, you always have to save the princess. Well, now you don't have to. You can always save Zelda. Kind of mixed up there, but who cares? Now on to number 6. Now, some of you might have expected this since I have put on my intro that I was going to do Pokemon videos. And I do like Pokemon. It's just really fun using different monsters, and it mixes all those medieval and fantasy characters and animals just all together to make these fun battle things. And it's not too bloody either. I mean, all these mythical creature games are fun, sometimes being all warfare and bloody, but I mean, come on. Sometimes it's just fun to have battles like this. The reason I like Pokemon Alpha Sapphire is just because, first of all, it's a new game, and it was one of them that I actually got when I started being a pro. And one of the reasons I like this game is just because it came at the right moment. Some of those video games that you play just come out at the right moment when you're ready to be amazed by video games. That's one of the reasons I like Five Nights at Freddy's, just because it came out at the right time. And Sorry, I got mixed up. I'm actually looking at a list of my top 10 games. But Pokemon Alpha Sapphire came at the right time. And the reason I did not pick Omega Ruby is just because I loved Alpha Sapphire. Because you could get Kyogre for one reason, and I would want the legendary Pokemon of water because, as some of you probably know, I love the ocean and just water. I'm actually saving up money to donate to a marine animal preserve, so let's see how that goes. It's been a few days, and I don't know how much money I have. I think a few dollars, but I just started anyway. So on to number 5. I'm sorry I haven't talked about these much. So number 5 is, and I think you would have expected this if you know there was a second game of Puzzle Quest, but Puzzle Quest 2. I just really like the game mechanics now. It was just like Puzzle Quest 1, except that you could actually move around. Well, move around better, I'd say. In the first one, you could only move town to town. In this new one, you can move through the towns, but you can't really choose where you go. You just click different ways, and it will tell you what will happen, like fight this goblin, talk to this villager, die in lava. If you press too fast, you kinda know what that's like. And I also really like this game because it just came out at the right moment when I was amazed by video games. And just because it brought more medieval stuff to it, and it just seemed there seemed to be more war, and I just like the new fighting mechanic. You can use weapons now, which I'm pretty sure you could do in the last game, but I didn't actually do. Okay, and on to number 4. Some of you might have expected this, well, at least the series of this, But The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. I just love this one because, first of all, I like the screen instead of being 2D. Now, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but it's two-dimensional. So I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm okay. And you actually saw your play from the top. I'm sorry that I don't know what that is. I'm sorry that I cannot speak today. But this game just was really fun. Going to walls was really fun. It just was a longer game of Zelda. The only thing that this game wasn't very good about is you having to pay for the dungeon items. Also not knowing if you're halfway through the dungeon. But I'm okay with farming against enemies to get the dungeon item, sort of. And this game just had a lot of side quests. I really liked the creative bosses. A lot of Zelda games had some creative bosses, but this one had some of those really cool bosses. And it had some recreations of them. And they weren't too hard or too easy, except for some of them. Most of them were really challenging and fun. And on to number 3. Now this one is probably completely unexpected, well, at least where I'm putting it. But you know it had to be on the list, but I'm pretty sure you would have never expected it to be on this part of the list. But Minecraft. So on my channel I've done so far only Minecraft videos, but I really just love Minecraft. It's a fun game where you can just build anything, do almost anything. Like say you want to make a game, but you can't really because you don't have the stuff to. Just make some Minecraft creation. Use the 1.8 stuff that have actually came out. People are making so many good things, and to imagine you can just do that in a video game. It's awesome. And I also really liked some of the stuff in it. It also had some creepy parts with the Herobrine, but it honestly wasn't that creepy. The only cool thing is that you could actually edit mobs, which is really cool, something you really couldn't do in other games. This one, you can really just make your own game out of it. You can make your own skin, you can just let out all your creativity. It can even teach you some real life science and stuff. It can really help you. And it's just fun to play. You can just let your imagination flow and just do anything you really want. Well, not everything, but if you want to do something else that's not in just normal Minecraft, get a mod. There's so many things out there that are just great in Minecraft. You can almost do anything in Minecraft, and it's just a game where kids can pour out their creativity and grown-ups. And Minecraft is just that game where you can let it all out. Like when you think of something, like think, oh, I want to make a video game like that, just let it all out on Minecraft and build it. Even though it's sometimes challenging, at least it's a challenge. I mean, it's fun to challenge yourself, and this game just was amazing for that. You could build almost anything, and that is why I love Minecraft. It also just came out at the right time in my life when I was ready to be amazed about video games. And on to number 2. So, this one, again, probably you were expecting this because so far we've done 2 of these titles. Well, the start of it at least, but you can actually pause this video right now and guess in the comments. I know it's pretty obvious. I've been talking about it a lot. Okay, the answer is in 1, 2, 3. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I know it wasn't that I know it was probably really expected. I'm sorry guys, I just cannot talk today. But I really like the mechanic of this game. Using the Wii remote to move wherever you wanted your sword was really fun. It also gave you kind of an exercise. And you could just get up and exercise, kind of just move your hands a little and play through a game. This game I also really liked because of some of the creative bosses. Some Zelda games I feel like have a lack of bosses and they're just plain and just not that cool. Well, some of them, but a lot of the bosses have been cool. But The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword have had one of the most creative bosses ever, and one of the most unpredictable. Like, imagine Scaldra. You're fighting a rock. And look how epic he looks. He's like half demon. It's kind of cool to think you're just fighting some alive rock. Like, some games just don't have those creative bosses and stuff. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, I have to say, kind of won just an award in the Zelda community for having some of the most creative bosses. Now, it didn't have the best companion, but at least it's not Navi. For those of us who really don't like Navi, I know there's a lot of those people out there. I mean, I had Fi, and Fi was still kind of annoying. I mean, I'm in a boss battle, Fi. And please stop ignoring me. I mean, she wasn't as annoying as Navi, but I mean, she was annoying at times. At least she was more useful than Navi. Navi just targeted on enemies and told you some useless junk about them. Like, ask her a question about the dungeon, and then she'll tell you something like before. And I found just better. But, I mean, she wasn't the most useful. She could douse and she could tell you about enemies, but I mean, she just wasn't that useful. I mean, she had a good relationship with Link. Like, Navi just bailed out of there after he put the Master Sword in. Fi, at the ending, it was kind of sad when she had to leave. And she said that she only cared about serving your grace. But then, after being with you and seeing everyone's sacrifices, that she was just happy, and she did this for more than just serving her grace. She did it because she wanted to. She wanted to save humanity. She's kind of like Midna, except a bit different. So, yeah, guys, let's move on to my top first game. But before we go to that, let's go over my games. Now, first, I would like to say my top 11 game. I know this is only a 10 list, but this one was kind of partly 10. I didn't know where to put it. But this game is called Terminator Salvation. And I know this is kind of unexpected if you know me a bit, but I haven't done my channel too much. But I usually like peaceful, calm games. But Terminator Salvation was just a good game, even though it was all warfare and bloody. It was just good. I usually am the person to play peaceful games, well, at least partly peaceful games. I have played Zelda games, but they're not that bloody and dark. Only a few of them are, like Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. But Terminator Salvation was just a fun game to play. So, these are all my games, and these are all my top games, and I'm gonna repeat them. And then we're gonna go to my number 1 game. Oh yeah. Number 11, Terminator Salvation. Number 10, Five Nights at Freddy's. Number 9, Puzzle Quest. Number 8, The Legend of Zelda. Number 7, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Number 6, Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. Number 5, Puzzle Quest 2. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda Link Between. Number 3, Minecraft. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Okay, and on to number 1. Now I know this title is probably gonna be expected because I've already done a lot of them, and I'm guessing you can guess. I don't even need to really make it a contest or something, or not a contest, just the thing I did last time on The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. But I know this one is really expected, but The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, I hear a lot of people saying they hated this game and it was the worst Zelda game ever. But I honestly thought it was really good. I mean, it tried too hard to be dark. But I mean, still, I loved it. It was a great game. And it just had some really of those creative boxes. And it had some of those scary times in Zelda. Like, Zelda put one of their first jump scares really in Zelda so far, the Blitzetta part. And I gotta say, that part kind of freaked me out. But still, not that much. But this game is just really fun. Even though it didn't have exact of the motion plus like the Skyward Sword game, it still was good with wherever you swing your Wii remote, your sword just swinged. I'm sorry, I cannot speak today. But this game, I honestly don't need to say that much about because we are going to be talking about it a lot. But this game came at the right time. And it was just one of the first cool dark Zelda games. I mean, Majora's Mask was dark, but I just really liked it. And your companion was actually not that annoying. Midna was actually the first companion that I actually cared about in a video game character. Like, she helped you more often, and her and Link just seemed to have a better relationship than all of them. Like, sure, Fi said that she cared nothing about any of this except serving her grace, but then she actually found a friend, Link. But Midna just was a really good character. Like, Fi and Navi just didn't really have a backstory. Midna had a dramatic backstory, where Zant took her place as a Twilight Princess. And she seemed to actually have those good traits and was actually seen like just a normal character. Like, Navi just was plain. She had no human traits or anything. She just had none of those feelings, and she had no backstory, and neither did Fi. But Midna just had so much backstory, and I just actually felt like she was a character that I actually cared about. She actually felt like a real character for once. And also, the transforming into the wolf was really fun. I liked being two Links. I liked having two forms of Link. Also, I really like Ganon's beach form in this one, just because it was really fun. And you got to use the wolf form against him in a wrestle type thing. In this game, I think I'm done talking about because you're going to hear me talk about it a lot. So yeah, guys, those are my top 10 games. Hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Now, the next subscriber special that I will do is when we have 100 subscribers. I know that's far, but I kind of have to. I can't do a special every single month or so, even though we might get 100 fast. I'm not expecting to get 100 that fast, but I mean, it could happen once I have more videos out. But the biggest part to get 100 subscribers is through your support. And I thank all of you on Team Trident for all of your support. You've helped this channel grow, and you just helped this channel, and you are a part of this channel, Team Trident. So that's all I have to talk about, and hope you guys all enjoyed my 10 subscriber special, and I will see you guys soon. And remember to smash that like button, and please comment. And yeah, I hope I see you guys on the next episode of whatever we want. The next episode might be a Skyblock episode, I'm not really sure. But I hope you guys all enjoyed. Remember to check out those channels below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!